everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Gossip Girls podcast. I'm Madison.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Isabella.
Today, we are very happy to be joined by a wide receiver for the New York Giants, Damion Ratley. Damion, thank you so much for joining us.
To be here.
So, my first question for you is, how old were you when you started playing football?
So where I'm from, I don't think we really too much had to organize football, like Little League or whatever you want to call it. So I didn't think I started playing until my first grade year or second grade. Second grade year. I don't know how old you are in second grade. So
Yeah, I don't know.
somewhere around my second grade year. And but my first love was actually baseball. So
Oh, I
I
love
mean,
baseball.
yeah, we got by playing a lot of baseball where I'm from.
That's awesome.
So you mentioned baseball, and obviously you play football. So what was your favorite NFL and MLB teams growing up?
Well, of course, my favorite team growing up was the Houston Astros, and then most definitely my favorite NFL team was the Atlanta Falcons because of Michael Vick. But of course, they always change over time. You know what I mean? From every few years or so. I mean,
Yeah.
some you get a great player, and you always you go for him. So that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite memory playing football at Texas A&M?
I can't even lie. I guess my favorite memory would probably have to be my first touchdown. Like I said, I'm from a small school, so we really didn't have too many fans there. So the first time being able to play in front of 100,000 and scoring was a very crazy, surreal moment to me because where I'm from, there's only 5,000 people in the whole town. So to think in front of 100,000 people, I'm scoring. So Mississippi State my sophomore year because I played at a blend JUCO junior college before that. So my sophomore year was my first touchdown at Texas A&M. So that had to be my favorite moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Given the fact that you and Baker Mayfield were drafted in the same draft class, did that kind of play a role in your relationship with him when you played with him?
I mean, you could say that. We also got the same agency, so we had a couple of things in common. He's from Austin, Texas. I'm from Yoakum, and which is like an hour and a half apart. So we kind of had some similarities, but we had our differences too. So I wouldn't say we were best friends, but we could handle each other when we were around. We both like the same stuff and the same. We're both Texas boys, so we kind of like the same thing. So we got along pretty well.
That's good.
That's great. As a rookie for the Browns, did you get hazed by any of the older veterans, or were there any pranks that you could share with us?
We didn't really get a haze, but Jarvis always had us buy snacks for him or do certain things for him or take him out to dinner or I never got really just hazed. We had to pick up stuff for him or something like that, but that's not hazing. No, I didn't get beads or something in my car or something like that. So I didn't get nothing like that.
That's great. So when you were picked up by the Giants, did Odell Beckham Jr. give you any tips about coming to New York?
Yeah, he when he found out, or we still got this group message with all of us from Cleveland, and when he found out, he called me and just told me congratulations and stuff like that. I was like one of my best friends over there, so we hung out a lot. So he just called me and said, go do your thing. It's always better. It's probably the best thing for you, knowing that Cleveland ran a lot of 12 personnel, and they already had Jarvis and O there. So it's pretty hard to play in something like that. So he knew what the deal was. So he knew it was probably better for me to come here anyway. So, and what he told me about New York, he didn't really tell me too much about the nightlife since we don't get anything. We get to do anything. We don't, we're basically in the facility and out of it. So he didn't really tell me too much about that.
Yeah. Well, you're a perfect fit here, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And coming from a small city in Texas and like now you're in New York, so it's obviously very different. Do you like New York so far? And like, have you been to New York before you were picked up?
Yeah. So New York has always been my favorite, one of my favorite cities, New York and Miami. And New York has always been my favorite city because the show Law and Order, SVU, and that was my favorite show growing up, or one of my favorite shows growing up. And so I always wanted to be, really wanted to be a detective really bad because of the show. So
That's so funny.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I always wanted to come to New York anyway. So it was pretty, it was pretty cool getting picked up on. But what was the other question?
Oh, like, do you like it? And have you been here before?
Yeah, I've been here once before. Me and a couple other buddies came up here when we had a Thursday night game, so we get the whole weekend off. And so we came up here for the weekend and had a good time in the city.
That's nice. How are you feeling for your first Cowboys-Giants game coming up?
Well, I mean, I'd like to say it's just another game, but I mean, it feels like it's a big time rivalry, and so I guess we're gonna see how they take it on the field. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Kinda
for
like,
sure.
Mhm. Are you excited to finally play in front of fans in Dallas? I know there are a lot of Giants fans there.
yeah, we really were just talking about that today of how they're gonna have fans and it's gonna be a little crazy and a little, a little different for us. But I mean, like I was saying earlier, I played in front of 100,000s to 40,000s to, I mean, it's just fans but it's definitely gonna be nice. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be lovely.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Is there a current or past teammate that you've learned a lot from?
I think person I learned the most from was Jarvis Landry. Just about being smart, and it's more than just the route. It's the coverages, the schemes, the what to do when this certain DBs playing this leverage or certain any. I mean, you just it's crazy how much you can learn from guys like that. And I mean, of course, when O got there, and he taught me a lot too. But I think from the start, Jarvis was there, and he really did help. He helped me a lot in how I look at things now, and just be able to just react to things because I already know and what he's taught me, and just being able to react to the certain things and not have to think about it is all because of pretty much what he taught me and going over it over and over and over.
That's great.
What do you think of your new coach, Joe Judge, so far?
The man he's there's no words to explain Joe Judge, I swear. So we're just gonna keep it at that. He's a great guy.
And obviously, you're a public figure, and like so many kids look up to you. So, what advice would you give to them to like be where you are today?
To strive for greatness and honestly never give up ever. I mean, you never know what could happen. I mean, you just put the work in. I mean, you take chances. You, you. I mean, you just do you and do what you want to do, and always do it to the best of your abilities. No matter if it's interviewing people on this podcast, you always do it to the best of y'all's abilities because you never know who's gonna see it and who's gonna show up and pop up or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I think it's the just doing everything to 100% because you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
That's great advice. What is your biggest personal goal for this season?
I want to hit 1K for the first time, but I really, honestly, I want to go to the playoffs so bad. I really want to go to the playoffs. I hate losing. I cry every time we lose. I hate losing. So I'm gonna turn this around because all this losing, oh, it's crazy. But we're gonna get a turnaround for sure this week, for sure.
Good. Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah, you guys have a bright future.
Yeah, we're young. You can just say that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
exactly.
never know what
For
can
sure.
happen.
Yeah. Outside of football, what are your like passions other than football?
I love to golf. Love to golf. I hunt. I fish. I'm a Texas guy. Just whatever you think about Texas when you think about Texas, that's
Yeah.
what we do. But so what's y'all's first think of when y'all think about Texas? What do y'all think about when you first think about Texas?
Probably the heat. It's actually funny because my aunt and uncle, they just came to my house. They live in Dallas. They just came
Yeah,
from Texas, so but I
yeah,
like it there. Probably the heat and also like you said, fishing and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that too. My cousins are from El Paso, so I've been there a few times.
I've
You know
just
what
been
else, you know what else is from El Paso that I really like that everybody knows?
Yeah.
Khalid.
He's from El
Yeah,
really?
I didn't
my
even
cousin
know
played
that.
with him.
Huh?
She just plays the drums and she played with him.
Yeah, that dude is awesome.
She performed
Love
like
to
he
see that.
came to her school and she got to perform in a concert with him, which is really cool.
Yeah, he's a
Wow.
great sounding guy. What's your favorite thing? I don't know your name because your name don't pop up on here. Oh,
It's
Isabella.
Isabella, but when I think of Texas, I think of like this movie quote, and this guy like offered like $3 million, and he goes, "What? We're from Texas. We only go big," and like that's what I think about all the time.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but I mean, not all of that's true.
Also like
Never know.
the rodeos. I love the rodeos. I went to one in Houston. It was fun.
Yeah, the rodeos are definitely epic down there. It's kind of like a big dance up here or something like that.
Yeah,
But
it's cool. Who is the funniest guy on the Giants? I've always been like wondering this.
who's the funniest guy on the Giants?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, Daniel's pretty funny in his own kind of way. Right, and it's just his own kind of way. It's just I laugh at every whether it's like he had his sweatpants stuck into his socks today, and it's just like sometimes and what he drives and just the way he's so funny. He's the things that I laugh at might be different from others. So I
Yeah,
think that was pretty funny to me.
he seems funny. Kind of like Eli. I know you didn't get to play with him, but
Yeah,
obviously you know what Eli's like. Good luck this Sunday. We're all Giants fans. We're rooting for you specifically. We want you to do really well, have a lot of catches and
don't
touch.
just root for me. Please root for the whole team.
Yeah, well,
Please.
of course. But yeah, please win. We're begging.
We're gonna try. Thank y'all so much for having me on here. It was a blast
Sure.
talking to y'all.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for coming on. Good luck.
Thank you.
bye. We just want to thank Damion so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to speak to him.
We wish him and the Giants the best for the rest of the season, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Thank you guys so much for all the support, and we'll see you next time.